morning, everybody. You're looking at the big screen. Hope you like my little background there. Today we'll be working on our Doctrinal Mastery lesson, Helaman 5:12. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, what's wrong with this house? Hopefully you notice there's something wrong right here. The foundation is cracked. What is a foundation? You can answer out loud if you want to. There's nobody listening. I can't hear you, but hopefully the foundation, you understand that a foundation is what the structure is built on, right? So how do you think the foundation affects the structure that is built on it? How important is the foundation? If you mess up the foundation, will it matter how well you put the top together? As recorded in Helaman 5, the prophet Helaman counseled his sons Lehi and Nephi. He taught them about why they should remember the righteous words and actions of their ancestors. He even named them after their ancestors. Nephi and Lehi were named after Nephi and Lehi. Helaman also taught them about building their lives on the right foundation, which leads us to our Doctrinal Mastery verse for the day, which is Helaman 5:12. So I'm going to invite you to take a minute and read this verse in your own scriptures. Take a minute, make sure you got your scriptures out, and read that, Helaman 5:12. Pause the video if you need to go get your scriptures. Hopefully you remember to get them. And I'd like to just have you mark, if you're using electronic devices, then just go ahead and use your highlighters and highlight key phrases and words that you see in that verse. Whatever you think is important. All right, hopefully you've had enough time to do that. I don't know what you identified. This is what I came up with. Hopefully something similar, right? I just marked the top and the bottom. So what does he want his sons to remember? He wants them to remember that it's upon the rock of our Redeemer, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, that we must build our foundation. And then he says at the bottom, because the rock upon which you are built, which is a sure foundation, a foundation whereon if men build, they cannot fall. So that word if is always an important word in the scriptures because it identifies a principle. Do you see anything in this verse to which we could liken President Nelson's talk about prevailing with God? Remember, Israel means to prevail with God, right? So when the devil shall send forth his mighty winds, his shafts in the whirlwind, get all his hail and his mighty storm beating upon you, it's not going to have any power. You're going to prevail over Satan because of the rock upon which you are built, which is a sure foundation. If we build on the right foundation, when the winds and the shafts and the whirlwinds and all the storms come, we won't have any power over us to knock us down. All right, so a couple of truths or a few truths and principles we can get from this verse. First of all, Jesus Christ is our sure foundation. If we build on the foundation of Jesus Christ, the devil will have no power over us. We will prevail. We cannot fall if we are built on the foundation of Jesus Christ. So why do you think Helaman described Jesus Christ as a sure foundation? What's the opposite of a sure foundation? What would be the opposite of founding your life on something other than Jesus Christ? What would happen if you did? How have you tried to build your life on Jesus Christ? How have you tried to build your day on Jesus Christ? Lives are made out of just days, right? One day at a time. So if I want to build my life on the Savior, then it probably starts by just building my day on the Savior. How did you start your day today? What was the foundation of your day? In what ways has your faith in Jesus Christ strengthened you in times of trial? So when you've had storms beat upon you, how has building your life on a foundation of Jesus Christ strengthened you or helped you, strengthened you during your times of trial and challenges? All right, as a metaphor, I want you to listen to this description of the Philadelphia temple. Notice what was done and why they did it. Knowing destructive winds and invasive groundwater would relentlessly attack the Philadelphia temple, the engineers designed and the contractor excavated a hole 32 feet deep under the entire footprint of the structure. The hole was dug into native Pennsylvania granite to provide an immovable foundation upon which to build. The concrete footings and foundations were then tied to the granite bedrock with rock anchors to resist even torrential wind and powerful groundwater. The anchors were drilled 50 to 175 feet into the granite and tensioned at 250,000 pounds per square inch. The anchors are spaced 15 feet apart in both directions. Now, I don't know what all that means at the end. I am not an engineer, but it sounds like they did everything they could to make that temple so it would never move. Here's an illustration. You got the temple here, dug 32 feet into granite bedrock with the rock anchors drilled 50 to 75 feet, 175 feet deep. So how do you think you could use this example as a metaphor for building your life on the sure foundation of Jesus Christ? What do you think each of these anchors could represent in your life as maybe different ways that you could anchor yourself to the Savior and make him your sure foundation? What are you doing, or what could you do to anchor yourself to the bedrock foundation of Jesus Christ and his gospel? Again, think about different ways, different things that you're doing to anchor yourself to the Savior. Maybe one of these could be seminary, for instance. All right, if you'll open your study journal, go to your next blank page and write Helaman 5:12 at the top. I'll invite you to read the following 3 questions and then choose one that you would like to answer. You can do more than one if you have time. I think it'll bless your life to take time to do all 3, but make sure you do at least one. And make sure you include the question before you write down the question before you write down your answer. So question number 1, in what areas in my life need to be anchored more deeply in the foundation of Jesus Christ? Number 2, what is it about the Savior that influences me to anchor myself to him? And 3, why must I continually reinforce and strengthen my life on the foundation of Jesus Christ? And why might it be dangerous not to do so? So think about each one of those questions and decide which one you want to answer. When you've figured out which one you want to answer, go ahead and pause the video and take a minute and write down your answer. All right, hopefully you're done. You've unpaused the video. So I thought this would be a fun assignment. Now that you've got your answer written with the question, I'm going to encourage you to find time to share what you learned from this Doctrinal Mastery lesson with a family member. So talk a little bit about what you learned and then share with them your question, and maybe start by having them answer it. Ask mom or dad or your brother or sister, hey, how would you answer this question? And then share with them your answer. Maybe have a brief discussion about Jesus Christ being the rock upon which we should build our foundation. I think you'll have a meaningful discussion. All right, now we're going to memorize the key phrase and the reference. We're going to do that by repeating the key phrase and reference 5 times. Okay, so you can do this with me if you want to. Here we go. It is upon the rock of our Redeemer that you must build your foundation. Helaman 5:12. Do it again. It is upon the rock of our Redeemer that you must build your foundation. Helaman 5:12. It is upon the rock of our Redeemer that you must build your foundation. Helaman 5:12. It is upon the rock of our Redeemer that you must build your foundation. Helaman 5:12. Last time. It is upon the rock of our Redeemer that you must build your foundation. Helaman 5:12. All right, hopefully you got that in your brain. What we're going to do now is we're going to unmix it. So I've divided that key phrase into 4 parts, and they're all mixed up. So I'm going to show you the phrase all mixed up. Your job is to unmix it as quickly as you can. Here we go. Awesome. You should have said, it is upon the rock of our Redeemer that you must build your foundation. Helaman 5:12. All right, ready? Let's do it one more time. Ready, set, go. Okay, hopefully you got it is upon the rock of our Redeemer that you must build your foundation. Helaman 5:12. Wow, that period kind of throws you off, doesn't it? All right, that's all we have for today for our Doctrinal Mastery lesson. I think we got that done fairly quickly. If you'd like to stick around for a few minutes, I'm going to sing the Doctrinal Mastery song for Helaman 5:12 and encourage you to memorize it. If you don't have time now, you can always come back later and do this. But if you're leaving me now, ciao. Thanks for your good work on this assignment or this Doctrinal Mastery lesson. And now we'll move into memorizing it. Ouch. Try not to break my guitar as I grab it. All right, this is Helaman 5:12. Here we go. And now, my sons, remember that it is upon the rock of our Redeemer, who is Christ, the Son of God, that ye must build your foundation. That when the devil shall send forth his mighty winds, yea, his shafts in the whirlwind, yea, when all his hail and his mighty storm shall beat upon you, it shall have no power o'er you to drag you down to the gulf of misery and endless woe. Because of the rock upon which ye are built, which is a sure foundation, a foundation whereon if men build, they cannot fall. Helaman 5:12. All right, I didn't do a super good job with that. We're going to do it one more time. Here we go. And now, my sons, remember that it is upon the rock of our Redeemer, who is Christ, the Son of God, that ye must build your foundation. That when the devil shall send forth his mighty winds, yea, his shafts in the whirlwind, yea, when all his hail and his mighty storm shall beat upon you, it shall have no power o'er you to drag you down to the gulf of misery and endless woe. Because of the rock upon which ye are built, which is a sure foundation, a foundation whereon if men build, they cannot fall. Helaman 5:12. All right, now we take some words away. Oops, back up. Let's fill in the blanks. And now, my sons, remember that it is upon the rock of our Redeemer, who is Christ, the Son of God, that ye must build your foundation, that when the devil shall send forth his mighty winds, yea, his shafts in the whirlwind, yea, when all his hail and his mighty storm shall beat upon you, it shall have no power over you to drag you down to the gulf of misery and endless woe. Because of the rock upon which ye are built, which is a sure foundation, same word, whereon if men build, they cannot fall. And now, my sons, remember that it is upon the rock of our Redeemer, who is is Christ the Son of God, that ye must build your foundation. That when the devil shall send forth his mighty winds, yea, his shafts in the whirlwind, yea, when all his hail and his mighty storm shall beat upon you, it shall have no power o'er you to drag you down to the gulf of misery and endless woe. Because of the rock upon which ye are built, which is a sure foundation, a foundation whereon if men build, they cannot fall. Helaman 5 verse 12. All right, last one. Fill in the blanks. And now, my sons, remember, same word, remember that it is upon the rock of our Redeemer, who is Christ, the Son of God, that ye must build your foundation, that when the devil shall send forth his mighty winds, yea, his shafts in the whirlwind, yea, when all his hail and his mighty storm shall beat upon you, it shall have no power over you to drag you down to the gulf of misery and endless woe. Because of the rock upon which ye are built, which is a sure foundation, a foundation whereon if men build, they cannot fall. Okay, last time. Do your best. And now, my sons, remember that it is upon the rock of our Redeemer, who is Christ the Son of God, that ye must build your foundation. That when the devil shall send forth his mighty winds, yea, his shafts in the whirlwind, yea, when all his hail and his mighty storm shall beat upon you, it shall have no power o'er you to drag you down to the gulf of misery and endless woe. Because of the rock upon which ye are built, which is a sure foundation, a foundation whereon if men build, they cannot fall. Helaman 5 verse 12. All right, good job. If you would like to continue to work on that without coming back to Canvas, you can go to my YouTube channel. Just go to Lance J. Webb and find this song. There's some folders there. Find the Book of Mormon Doctrinal Mastery folder. Find Helaman 5:12. And if you have the Doctrinal Mastery app downloaded, then you can use that and sing along with it and erase words. It's a great way to It's a great way to memorize scriptures. Awesome. Thanks for spending this time with me, and hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day. I'll see you in class. Ciao.